Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to what is perhaps one of the most fun, exhilarating, most destructive, and all at the same time, probably one of the most realistic OH-6 helicopter missions that I have put together in DCS world. As a lot of you know, I'm a huge fan of this helicopter. It's my staple for having the most amount of fun in DCS when I just want to get some of that hands-on stick and rudder low-level timing, or in the case of a helicopter, some pedal and cycling time. So today we're doing what the OH-6 was designed for, which is forward area control, and this is using the forward area controller script, which means that we can now designate targets for a close air support F5 strike with our smoke grenades, which is exactly what we'll be doing today. We'll be hunting down an SA-2 site, and we need to try and knock out the tracking radar of the SA-2 in order to disable it, so that we can call in the airstrike and obliterate some of the command posts which are associated with this Vietnamese SA-2 site. Today we're also using the grenade launcher, which is one of the most fun weapons I've come across for the OH-6, and this is a weapons mod for the OH-6, which I'll leave in the description below, and basically means we replace the minigun with a grenade launcher, and it's very destructive and probably some of the most fun shooting at stuff that you can do in DCS. Along with that, of course, we have the rocket pod, which we'll use in order to destroy the fan song track radar of the SA-2 SAM site. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the cockpit of the OH-6, one of my absolute all-time favorite helicopters to fly in DCS world, and let's get her off the ground. So a little bit of a crosswind from the left, so just correct a tiny bit, and we'll see if we can get it into a nice stable hover for a little hover torque check. You will notice that I'm using quite a lot of the available torque just to maintain this chopper in the hover. And this is due to the fact that we are almost at maximum takeoff weight, so we correct for the left crosswind here. We're almost at max takeoff weight, and it is very hot and humid here, so we're going to have to be very careful, because if you do over-torque the OH-6, the engine will fail. That I can tell you from experience. So let's trim it out here, as today we are going to be performing what the OH-6 was always designed to do, which is reconnaissance and forward area control. And that means that we're going to be designating targets for our F5 close air support package with our smoke grenades. And the way this works is this is a forward area control script that I will leave a link for in the description. And quite frankly, I'll leave the entire mission file for those of you that are Patreon supporters. You can check it out yourself, and all the links for all the mods will be there anyway as well. But mostly this is just using the Vietnam assets pack, and of course the free OH-6 mod, which is one of the most realistic, most awesome, beautiful helicopters to fly in DCS world, as we're just trimming it out here for a speed of about 90 knots, where it feels really comfortable, and I can basically have my feet completely off the pedals, which makes it very nice and comfortable to fly. And I can trim it out, and as you can see, it's rock solid. Today we're doing forward area control, which means we're going to have to designate targets for the F5 strike packages. Now, the mission today is to suss out and attack an SA-2 site that has been set up by the Vietnamese in some farm fields. And we need to, recon, identify the location of the track radar, knock out the track radar with our, in fact, let's get it armed now. Let's prepare our rockets. We also have a grenade launcher today, but we will be starting off with the rockets, because that is the most destructive weapon that the OH-6 has. We need to identify and knock out the track radar for the fan song track radar for the SA-2 battery, which means that it will be crippled and will be unable to engage any aerial targets after that point, which means we can call in the F5s, the Lobo 4 flight, which are holding off a few nautical miles, approximately 10 nautical miles, but they're masked behind terrain, so they're waiting for our command before they can engage any of the designated targets, which we will be designating with our smoke grenades. So we need to destroy the radar and then designate the command posts for the SA-2 site. So here we go, SA-2 site, 2 nautical miles to run, knock out the Fansong track radar. So the first order of business is to establish a nice recon position to identify exactly where the track radar is. Now, we know from intelligence that the SA-2 site is behind that hill over there. So what we're going to do is, we're first of all going to approach the site from this angle here, over these trees. And we're going to identify, we're going to see if we can find a concealed position just to suss out exactly where everything is without taking any heavy fire. Hopefully the enemy will not notice us as well, so we are going to be sort of concealed. Now, they're probably going to hear us, but hopefully they're not going to see us if we're very careful. So what we're going to do is we're going to use trees for cover. And we don't have any fancy radar, of course, above our rotor blades, so it's going to have to be a case of using our Mark 1 eyeballs. Right, they should be behind those trees. Now again, look at the torque gauge there. I'm relatively close to the limit, so I have to be extremely careful not to over torque the helicopter. Right, I think it's just behind that tree line. Maybe we can find another concealed position here somewhere behind these trees. Just get a little bit closer. I suspect that might be a better idea, so let's just get in here. Now, I am using a force feedback stick, FF Beast, for, you know, probably the 10,000th time for those of you that are following my channel. I do apologize, but I just absolutely love it, and flying the OH-6 with FF Beast is potentially the greatest, best experience in DCS world ever. No matter how much I fly fighter jets, I keep coming back to this thing because I just think it's so much fun. So hands-on. Right, here we go. Link for FF Beast in the description, by the way, for anybody who is interested. Right, here is the SA-2 site. Where's the Fansong radar? Right in the middle. Okay, be very careful here because, as you can tell, I am just on the very edge of that torque band. So our job number 1, destroyed the radar. Secondly, we'll call in the strike for the F5s, and we'll mark the command posts, which are in those farmhouses, with our grenades. So, what do we have? We have master arm on, everything is selected, we have the rocket selected. Okay, let's go. Here we go, guys. Now, look at that torque gauge. Gotta be very careful. I don't want to over torque the helicopter. We are in the yellow band, so we're gonna have to be very careful. Right, we're gonna trim it out for a slightly faster airspeed. And here we go. I'll shut up and aim. Close, just short. Gotta be, come on. Yes, we got a hit. Open fire. Open fire. Yeah, knock him out, come on. Good job. Knock him out. Alright, let's dodge any enemy bullets here. We accelerate. Almost to VNE here to get out of harm's way. And now let's call in the strike. So, F10. Request strike. It says A4s, but we're actually F5s, iron bombs. So let's go for a pair of iron bombs. And we are Pony 5, and we're calling in Lobo 4. So we are now activating the script and the dialogue between the helicopter pilot, ourselves, and the pair of F5s that are going to come in here. So we need to mark the... Okay, here we go. Lobo 4 attacking with iron bombs, mark the target. Okay, so we need to mark it with a smoke grenade. So here we go. First of all, we have a grenade launcher at our disposal. We'll try and knock out the... the track radar as well there. That could be quite handy. And we'll mark these buildings here. And go, drop! Evade fire, evade fire. Alright, there's the track radar. Okay. Pony 5, Lobo 4, rolling in, attacking your smoke. So you should see the smoke grenade behind us. Let's evade any enemy fire. It will take a little while for Lobo 4 to arrive. In the meantime, we can try and knock out that track radar as well. Where is it? Where's the track radar? It's right here. Right. Yep. It's on fire. It's on fire. Good. Escape. We're a little bit messy on the flight controls here. Got to be very careful. Something is exploding behind us, so that's good. Whoa, that's a lot of fire right there. Now, the grenade launcher is absolutely awesome. A lot of firepower. A lot of firepower. I sound like Donald Trump here. It's easily one of the most fun. This is from the weapons mod for the OH-6, of course. This is easily one of the most fun weapons ever because everything just explodes so easily. Right. I think the F5s have got to be close now. So let's see if we can knock out... what can we knock out? These guys. Yeah, oh shit. Let's take this guy out. Oh, he's on fire. Low before 2 miles. Oh, track radar is gone. Open fire. Boom. We got him. Low 4 is off target. Low 4 is off target. Good. Boom. Good hits, good hits. Wow, look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo. Damn. Right, hold your fire. Hold your fire. Right, excellent. I think we got some good hits. Let's see if we can pick anything else out here. What we got here? Is that truck still alive here? No. No, he's not. Okay. Snap out some of these positions. Whoa. Knock him out. Wow, this is so cool. Ultimate destruction right here. See a couple of trucks here, so let's see if we can knock them out at least. Good. Oh, woo-hoo-hoo. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Evade fire. Evade fire. Ah. Woo! Alright, gotta be careful. Max performed the helicopter. It's all about smoothness. Now you've probably noticed a couple of times there I was not smooth. And you know, it's one of these things you really just gotta train yourself. You cannot have any knee-jerk reactions with the OH-6. Well, any helicopter for that matter, but right, let's see if we can knock out a couple more of these sites here. A couple more of these. Grenade launcher is freaking awesome, isn't it? Woo! Oh my god, the grenade launcher is so good. It doesn't look very impressive when it just when the grenades hit the ground. Like, they don't have much more of an impact compared to, say, a minigun that the OH-6 comes armed with, of course. But in terms of ultimate destructive power, I mean, it takes like one hit sometimes, and you can knock out a truck, or you can knock out something else. So let's see what else we got here. Oh, here we go. All right, let's knock this guy out here. All right, we're out of ammo. We're out of ammo. Oh, excellent. All right. Okay, it's time to RTB. I think our job here is done, boys. I think our job is done. Right, we're right on V&E here at 120 knots. Because I'm flying with a force feedback stick, it means that the stick in my hand is actually shaking, and it just gives you that awesome feedback that you know that you're going, you know, super fast. And of course, it's all very tunable. The OH-6 does have some native force feedback support, which is great. But you know, the profiles with FF Beast in particular make it extremely easy to fine-tune and really kind of, you know, create your own profile. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to replicate the real thing like for like because, well, I've never flown the real thing. But just from watching, you know, videos, reading stuff online and whatnot, you can probably get a pretty good idea of how it's supposed to feel. And you can certainly do that in DCS and tune it to the way that really kind of mimics the OH-6 in real life, which is absolutely amazing. Like I've said before, I just keep coming back to this thing because I think it's freaking amazing. I just wish we had an actual Vietnam map, because I think that would be the best possible era for a combat flight simulator. And hear me out on this. The thing about the Vietnam era is that it was such an interest. First of all, the map is interesting, right? You've got jungle, and then it's the fact that we don't have all these crazy, you know, 4th gen gizmos. We don't have all this technology, which makes life extremely difficult. At the same time, we're not bare bones guns only like we were in World War II. So I think that sort of 3rd gen fighters, 2nd gen, 3rd gen fighters, ground attack, and then also the combination of these helicopters and everything, I think all of that really makes the Vietnam era in particular exceptionally interesting from a combat flight simulator perspective, you know, provided you can nail obviously the map and the units and so on and so forth, and obviously the gameplay and the AI, and that goes without saying. But just all things, you know, being equal, I would say the Vietnam era compared to any other theater of operations in DCS is by far the most interesting, if it existed, which obviously at the moment this is the best that we're going to get, which is the World War II Marianas Island map. Now, I think Eagle Dynamics themselves probably know that the Vietnam War and the Vietnam era is, you know, easily going to be one of the most sought after conflicts, you know, for players. But I think the reason they're holding off, and I think they mentioned it at some point as well, is that they need to do justice with the map, right? The current map technology in DCS does not allow. Actually, let's just save everything here. I don't want to be. Let's just turn the armament off. At the moment, the technology, even though this looks pretty cool as you can tell, this is just a bunch of islands. If you stretch this jungle out into the vast open, you know, area that the Vietnam map would be, you are talking about unbearable performance. The card, you know, the way the DCS is currently set up with its map technology and so on and so forth, you cannot create a jungle map that isn't going to give you 5 frames per second, right? I mean, I'm struggling here, and this is just some islands. So whatever they need to do, whether it's multi-threading and Vulkan or whatever, you know, they have to do all that stuff first before they end up making a legitimate Vietnam conflict era map. And I think that is what is holding us back from having a Vietnam era map, because currently the map technology just simply doesn't allow for it, because I think ED knows that this would be one of the best selling conflicts, because I mean we have such an amazing variety of aircraft, choppers and everything. Right, let me just concentrate. So landing the OH-6, I have to say, still to this day, you see how it kind of bounces around, and I've just slid a little bit. There was a little bit of crosswind from the left, so that's probably part of the reason. And we're a little bit squinty. I mean, we're definitely further to this side than that side, but we'll take it. I think that was definitely a fun little go, so you have to forgive me about that little slide in the end. And like I was saying, the Vietnam era, I think in flight simulation, probably one of the absolute best eras of combat aircraft, both from the red side and the blue side, and obviously all these helicopter formations, the jungle combat, the napalms, and everything that goes on with it. I mean, I think we all know the Vietnam era stuff would sell really well, but at the moment, this is the best that we can get, which is me trying to recreate, well, not just me, many other people, of course, as well, trying to recreate the conflict in DCS world. Now, for anybody interested, I will leave the link in the description, the links for the mods and stuff in the description, and for any Patreon supporters, feel free to try out the mission. I think it's quite a fun one. So with that said, folks, hope you've enjoyed it, and smash the like button if you've enjoyed it. That'd be great, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.